let's start the book summary of The Lean Entrepreneur, How Visionaries Create Products, Innovate with New Ventures, and Disrupt Markets by Brant Cooper and Patrick Blaskowitz. So, without any wait, let's start right from the introduction. Are you an entrepreneur planning to make the next big startup? Are you an established business owner looking to take over the market? Either way, today's business environment is more competitive than ever. Using lean business practices is the best way to survive in this competition. The concept of lean focuses on adding value to your business while reducing waste. Lean entrepreneurs will continuously improve their business. They will learn lessons by closely observing their company and customers every day. This book will teach you the secrets of being successful today. You will learn how advances in technology affect you and your business. You will also understand the importance of disruptive innovation. It is when you make innovations that radically change an industry. You will find out what turns a simple entrepreneur into a true visionary. You will also learn the critical factors of efficient business culture. And you will learn how to build your business model accordingly. This book will teach you about your most important stakeholder, which is the customer. You will learn how to identify your ideal customer. You will learn that rejecting customers is necessary for your business. You'll also get to know how to use experiments to understand your market. These very experiments will tell you whether people want your product or not. This book is the perfect toolkit for entrepreneurs who want to change the industry forever. So, on that positive note, let's start with the first chapter, Startup Revolution. You currently live in a period of rapid change. It is called the information age and the knowledge era. In this new era, technology is taking over the economy. Machines are taking over manufacturing jobs. Jobs in the services sector are being offered online. Technological developments have made innovation and experimentation accessible to everyone. With 3D printing, anyone can build prototypes for their designs. In the past, new types of software were patented. Patented meant that it prevented anyone other than the creator from using that software. Now, many software is open source. It means any talented coder can use and improve the software. The other benefit of the information age is the amount of connectivity we have. AOL, an online service provider, had to work for 9 years to reach 1 million users. Facebook reached that target in just 9 months. The increase in connectivity has benefits for both individuals and businesses. One example is Amazon's Mechanical Turk website. It is used to hire workers to do simple jobs cheaply. Because of the internet, experts in media and the economy are quickly being replaced. Talented but not yet famous writers, photographers, and stock analysts can get noticed easily. Crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter can help startups and social movements to raise money. These characteristics of the information age point to one conclusion. This is the best time to begin a startup. Entrepreneurship is becoming more common all over the world. However, with the rise of entrepreneurship, competition is increasing as well. To deal with this increasing competition, startups must innovate disruptively. Disruptive innovation is when you introduce something entirely new to the market. It causes uncertainty. The usual kind of innovation is sustaining innovation. This is when you innovate to improve an existing product. The results are predictable, but sustaining innovation will not help you beat big businesses. Disruptive innovators can benefit significantly by using the lean startup method. Here, lean does not mean cheap or low quality. Lean represents efficiency. Lean startups will increase the efficiency of activities that add value to the business. They will also eliminate or minimize all activities that do not add value to the company. Lean businesses focus on consistently providing something valuable for their customers. Lean companies always observe themselves and their market. They take the lessons they learn from these observations and improve business processes. Through these improvements, they maintain the value of their product. Bespoke innovation is one example of a disruptive startup. The company designs and manufactures prosthetic limbs. Scott Summit, the founder, noticed that all prosthetic limbs were created the same way. They looked like parts of a machine. He realized that humans probably did not like wearing prosthetics like that. Scott began thinking about how he could design prosthetics better. He decided to use 3D printing for the product. It was easier to create unique designs with a 3D printer. The business plan was that bespoke innovations would help people feel special. What is unique about bespoke innovation is its lean production process. They did not spend months doing market research. They did not make a considerable investment to start the company. They only print prosthetics when they get an order. In that way, if the product failed, they could just stop production and move on. Bespoke innovations always focus on communicating with their customers. Even during the production process, they would send pictures to their clients. After delivering the product, they would gather feedback. As a result, bespoke innovations continuously learns how to improve the customer's experience. Scott points out that this method would have been impossible in the past. Without 3D printing, they would have to maintain a factory and a permanent staff. Without social media, they would have to spend more on marketing and communication. Thanks to the technology of our time, lean startups can succeed more easily. Let's move on to the next chapter now. Vision, values, and culture. Successful entrepreneurs are often called visionaries. This suggests that their vision for the future is what makes them unique. However, this is not true. Anyone can have a vision. What truly makes someone a visionary is their driving force. Their driving force is the effort they put into changing the world. It is the visionary's will to make his vision turn into reality. Before you begin your journey as an entrepreneur, you must identify your driving force. You can look at many types, but most fall into 4 categories. The first type is segment-centric. This is when your business focuses on a specific group. For instance, you deal with technological problems faced by hospitals. You work with them to find a solution. You also keep in mind that the solution is convenient for all people involved. That includes the hospital staff, employees, and even patients. The second type is problem-centric. It focuses on solving specific issues or supporting a particular passion. This is a common driving force since it is how startups usually begin. There are 2 issues with problem-centric startups. 1. Very few people might be facing the problem you're trying to solve. Hence, your solution's marketability may not be large enough to attract more customers. The second issue is that your market may not like your solution for the problem. The third type, product-centric, is when you have a vision for a certain product. This type of startup can be a bit dangerous. You cannot run a business if no one wants your product. Before launching a product-centric startup, you should identify your segment or audience. You must also find a problem that your product solves for that segment. The last type is technology-centric. This is when you have the technology you want to turn into an application or product. For instance, Facebook is both an application and a platform. The iPhone is also an example. Finding your driving force will help you make decisions about your business model. For example, if a segment-centric business fails, it will change its product or problem. When a problem-centric startup fails, it will change its segment, product, or technology. The values of your business go hand in hand with your vision. Your values determine who you buy from, such as materials. It also determines who you sell to. The changes that you hope to make must also match your values. The culture of your business will play a significant role in its success. Culture is not about the design of your offices or the clothes that your employees wear. The culture of your business is about the environment you create. It should represent the values of your business, and it should be helpful to achieve your vision. There is no current culture for a startup, but some parts of a culture are necessary to be successful. The most important feature is to be a learning organization. A learning organization gives a lot of importance to things like data, testing, and customer feedback. Another feature of good startup culture is pushing power to the edges. This is when you reduce power structures full of supervisors and managers. In other words, you empower every employee in the company. For example, Zappos, an online retail company, does not provide specific scripts to their call center employees. Zappos just instruct the employees to do their best for the customers. This is effective because the employees at the edge understand the customer in the best way. One strategy that lean startups should use is getting rid of divisions. Creating separate departments within one business is a guaranteed way to kill efficiency. In established companies, sales and accounting are always fighting. The research and development division can never agree with the marketing division. These problems within the business will stop you from solving the actual problems. Most lean startups use cross-functional teams. These are teams where engineers, marketers, and accountants all work together. Their diversity makes cross-functional better at identifying issues in the business. Since they are not in competing departments, everyone works together to find a solution. Let's hop on to the next chapter, All the Fish in the Sea. New entrepreneurs often do not understand that they cannot sell their products to everyone. You must always target a specific group or a segment. Once you have found a segment, you can slowly capture new segments. However, you must always be guided by your vision and values. Identifying your segment is important because they decide how your business functions. Take the example of a lean startup concept called pull. This is when you only manufacture your product to meet customer demand. It is like the client is pulling the product from the business. This concept makes sure that your company does not waste resources. Defining your segment is especially important if you are a segment-centric startup. Even definitions such as women between 18 to 73 years old are too unclear. You must define your segment by their needs and what you can do for them. One effective method you can use to identify your segment is to create your customer's persona. This is not a vague collection of features of a customer. A persona is a made-up character with a name and a personality. When you make characters like this, it is straightforward to understand their needs. Another method similar to this is to create an anti-segment. It is the opposite of a segment who likes your product. Anti-segment seems like they will like your product, but they do not. Identifying anti-segments early on will help you understand your market. You will know what type of customer to reject. Salim is the founder of a company called Nuco. He is developing an app to track how various ingredients are sourced. He wants chefs to use his app to decide their menus. For example, if there is a low supply of salmon, prices will increase. Then chefs can decide early on whether they will keep salmon on the menu or remove it. Salim's business is a problem-centric business. He used to be a restaurateur as himself, and he knows the problem restaurants face. They cannot decide accurate prices for their food because ingredient prices change. Restaurant owners do not have the time to keep track of their prices as well. Often, the data they get from their accountants is simply not enough. While Salim understands the problem well, he does not understand the segment at all. He feels that all other restaurant owners think the same way as him. Therefore, his target client is every single person who has a restaurant. Salim has already decided on a monthly subscription of $99 per month. This is a critical mistake that all entrepreneurs make. Thankfully, Salim had an advisor who talked to him about segments. Soon, Salim was able to create an anti-segment. The anti-segment was named Joe. Now, Joe is an old owner of a small Italian restaurant. His kids are starting college and he has a house to renovate. Joe is not very interested in growing his business. He enjoys talking with his regular customers. His menu does not change much either. Joe would never use Salim's app. He probably would not use an iPad. Identifying an anti-segment helped Salim decide on a particular segment. Salim's target crowd came in the form of Jack. Jack is an independent chef who owns a seafood restaurant. He wants to open more outlets as soon as possible. Jack is a college graduate and he pays close attention to the trends. He updates his menu daily depending on the fresh seafood options. Jack struggles with staying up to date on available products. He would definitely benefit greatly from Salim's app. By creating segments and anti-segments, Salim understood how to market his app. He was able to design specific features for different types of users. Without identifying these segments, Salim would have tried to sell the service to a person like Joe. And this could have made his business fail. And moving on with the next chapter now, viability experiments. It is not enough for a business to simply identify its segment. A successful startup also makes an effort to understand how its market behaves. Starting to manufacture your product is a big commitment. Before that, you must understand how your customer will respond to the product. Viability experiments are a method you can use to find your minimum viable product or MVP. The MVP represents the minimum requirements your product should meet. These minimum requirements are decided by testing if people will pay for your product. There are 5 types of viability tests that all lean entrepreneurs must know. The first test is called the Wizard of Oz test. This is when you create a web page for your customers to buy products. However, you will be handling the system manually. By working with a small market, you can gain valuable information about your segments. The shoe company Zappos started out as a Wizard of Oz test. The founder, Nick Swinmurn, created a web page named Shoe Site. He would take pictures of shoes in stores and post them on the site. Customers who visited the site could order these shoes. A few months after the website was launched, Nick was getting over $2,000 worth of orders each week. He did not even have to maintain an inventory. Every time Shoe Site got an order, Nick would buy the shoes from the local store. He would then ship the shoes to his customers. Nick was not making any money, but he learned that his business would at least attract customers. The second test is the crowdfunding test. Kickstarter and other crowdfunding sites are a great way to raise money. However, they're also an effective method to see how good your idea is. One disruptive innovation that famously used the crowdfunding test is Holoclip. It is a small 3-in-1 lens that improves the camera quality of iPhones. The creator of Holoclip, Patrick O'Neill, wanted his product to be sold in Apple retail stores. Now, getting your products into Apple stores is not an easy task. Apple is a very large and powerful company. They are known for creating their own software and hardware. For Apple to sell another company's product in their stores, the product should be really special. Holoclip used Kickstarter to see if people were interested in the product. Thanks to the platform, Holoclip was able to find 1,300 backers early on. These people purchased the product and began promoting it themselves. As a result, Holoclip was able to get noticed by Apple. The next test is called the landing page test. This is when you create a simple website to test the viability of your product. If a person clicks on a link to your online store, the landing page is the first thing that would greet them. Landing page tests can be confusing if you do not know how to interpret the results. What you need to keep in mind for this test is that you are checking 3 variables. 1. The number of visits to the page shows how well you are attracting customers. This means that your marketing process is good. 2. If the customer spends time on the website, you know your message delivery is good. The customers are learning about your product. And 3. If they click on the option to buy or contact you directly, this means your product is truly viable. The 4th test is concierge test. It is similar to the Wizard of Oz test. This is mainly used by businesses that sell an online platform that connects buyers and sellers. One example of this is Take Lessons. It is a site that matches music teachers with students. The concierge test manually puts buyers and sellers together. Then you can decide whether it is profitable to put the buyer and seller together online. The final and most well-known test is prototyping. This is when you create a realistic model of your product to test it. In this way, you can identify flaws early on and make sure the final product is perfect. It's time for conclusion now. In this book summary, first you learned how we are presently in the perfect environment for startups. The internet has made it very easy for good ideas to get funded. Technological developments have made experiments cheap and risk-free. Lean startups continuously learn and continuously improve. Through these improvements, they create products that are valuable to their customers. Second, you learned about the problems in how traditional businesses are structured. You learned how to be more efficient with cross-functional teams. Now you know the type of culture that must be encouraged within your business. It should help you reach your vision and represent your values. You also learned about the different driving forces behind startups. Your business can be segment-centric, product-centric, problem-centric, or technology-centric. Third, you learned that you could not sell to everyone. Now you can identify the segment that your business will serve. You should reject some segments even if they bring you short-term profits. Fourth, you learned about 5 important viability experiments. They are the landing page test, the concierge test, the Wizard of Oz test, the crowdfunding test, and prototyping. They will help you predict whether customers will buy your product. Fear of failure may be holding you back from creating a startup. Fear of change may be stopping you from restructuring your business. However, you are fortunate to live in a time where you can minimize your chances of failure. Have faith in your ideas. Present them whenever you get the opportunity. Run tests and experiment with your ideas until they are perfect. If you have the will to keep on going, you can surely be a successful startup and you can change the world. This was pretty much it from this book summary from my side. If you like the summary and it gave you a little motivational boost, don't forget to comment on it, add it to your favorites, and comment down what did you like the most. Take good care of yourself. Jai Hind.